So you've got the youth of the cryptid age, depending on which organization, what type of cryptid, how they live, where they have things like cell phones, and they do things like make TikToks.
With I and my team, we are ready to crush the demons into red paste.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yes, indeed. Last night, I saw a beautiful sunset. There were dark gray clouds filling the sky, but where the sun was going down, it had cleared up enough that the red light was literally painting the bottom of the clouds in just lurid and vivid reds. It looked like it had been splashed with literal paint. It was beautiful, and it stretched across this entire sky from one side of my vision to another. And that's why I don't take pictures of things like that, because that was a full sky-filling panorama. But if I take a picture of it, then it's just a little tiny thing like this. Maybe I can see it on a monitor or a small device. It's not going to look anything like I remember. And of course, front-loading of videos. If you could toss me a like if you like what you hear and see, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear and see as well, that'd be very awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are literally beautiful and literally awesome. They help to keep me and my pets alive. My little hamster Ghost was up and running around today. A very good thing. They can't speak English, my pets, but I can speak English for them, and they are appreciative. I am appreciative. If you'd like to become a patron, there are links in the video description. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal link. If you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wish list link. Thumbs up and thank you very much. Yay. So yes, if I take a picture, it's going to be a little tiny thing instead of the full sky mural. And the thing about memories are they're not static. Every time you remember something, it becomes affected by how you were feeling at the time. It's like a statue that's made out of slightly soft clay. As you pick it up, you're leaving your fingerprints on it. Through time, it becomes very altered from what it originally was. If I remember the vast sky picture, I'm going to remember the vast sky picture and how emotional I felt about it. If I take a picture of it, every time I look at that picture, the little tiny non-impressive picture is going to become a part of the huge mural that I saw across the sky. It's going to alter that memory. I'd rather remember what I saw than remember the picture of what I saw. So I don't take pictures of stuff. That also has a lot to do with other parts of my personality. But last night when I was just in awe of how beautiful this looked, it was just, I was thinking, this is why I will never take a picture of it. It would ruin the absolute memory. Past that, yesterday was fun. Oh joy, we have landlord/owner fun. If a owner or a landlord or landlord company wants to come in and look through your place, which they have a right to do, they have to let you know beforehand, 48 hours. Well, for the second time yesterday, the owners were here at the house, and not only had they not told anyone, they walked into our neighbor's house without them being there. And they were trying to get into our place with like, hey, we're the owners. And it's like, that doesn't matter. We didn't hear a thing. We talked to these people. They didn't talk to us. No, you can't come in. They really overstepped a lot of bounds, really big. That was almost, I would call it like breaking and entering to go into their house when they're not there. So that's fun. There's gonna be a shakedown of it today because no way to get hold of the rental company until today, and the neighbor is livid, and my other housemates are pissed. And the owners don't have a real foot to stand on for this one. This could be bad, so we'll see what happens. And of course, as you can see, I've been cleaning off my shelves. These are all of my console games again. These stacks go way up higher than the screen. So I've dusted off my shelves. You can't really see, but they're emptied out, dusted off, and I'm going to be putting things back up there. And it had just gotten a mess, and I do need to, because they're probably going to have a walkthrough as soon as they possibly can. I need to do some more tidying up in here. The tidying up part is mainly for me. I feel better when things are clean, but I'm a typical ADHD person in that I tend to live in a landfill. And then I clean it up, and then it becomes a landfill. To clean it up, landfill. It's not a landfill right now, but I really need to vacuum the floor, which means I need to move all the stuff on this side out so I can vacuum, and then move stuff from that side and vacuum. So, good thing I got 2 days with my physical conditions, yay. But past that, went walkies, was amazed by the sunset. That's the word. Amazed by the sunset, did as much thinking as I could, but of course my entire mental state affected by what was going on with the whole landlord thing. So now though, I've talked about everything, not everything, some of the things that are happening in real life. I want to talk about things that are also entertaining for me, which means onto the whole creative talking about things thing. Some of it has to do with the razor's edge. Some of it is a lot of cryptid thinking. I've been really deeply working on the entire setting of Brookerton, South Carolina's cryptid population. Brookerton is quite a place now, with the Department of Government Resources there, and it being an existential horror, the vast population of cryptids that live there, and the fact that it is the major doorway into the most influential razor's edge of this time on the entire world. So Brookerton has a lot going on in it. But let me see if I can remember what I was going to talk about, because I've got written down here. There is a lot of stuff. Some of it is I've been thinking about and probably going to come up with a character. I just think it's really funny. And the character that I had originally come up with was a throwaway character because she gets like eaten alive by a negative cryptid as part of their story. But the idea of like a flower type cryptid, a very positive cryptid type, who decides to go really goth. And the reason that they would do something like that, typically because cryptids, even we're on this lower level where they can interact with us and our world, they don't have things like electricity. They don't live where we do. They can't. We already live there. They live in our world. They can see and interact with us. We fill their world. While we cannot see or interact with them, they can see and interact with us, and we're already there. They don't have things like power plants. They don't have things like sewage waste treatment areas. They have to live as best that they can live around the edges of our world. But youth being what it is, the more modern youth of the day in this setting, they are adapting as much tech as they can. You'll have some of them carting around cell phones that they can charge and on things. And if you wear a cloaker, a focus that lowers your cryptid sense, but that there is within each person, if you are a cryptid, something that shows you are a cryptid, that identifies you as cryptid material, that another cryptid can look at you and instantly know. You wear a cloaker and it brings it down. You can even appear actual human to other humans as well as other cryptids. So you've got the youth of the cryptid age, depending on which organization, what type of cryptid, how they live, where they have things like cell phones, and they do things like make TikToks. And I just think it's really funny to have a character who is a positive flower cryptid type being really goth emo, getting into all black clothing and the black lipstick and the black dyed hair. So I don't know. I really want to make up a character like that, and my subconscious is chewing on it. So this is probably going to pop up. And then, of course, there's a big thing about energy flowing into their whole razor's edge thing. When the energy is flowing from the infinite ocean of possibility and potential deep on the inside, that energy flows upward on the island of the inside to the point where at the Crimson Kingdom, at the center of the island, is the door that leads to the razor's edge and then into the outside where we are. The energy is focusing and raining down as it gets there, down converting into a form that can be used out where we are. A huge portion of this down conversion takes place in the razor's edge. So this energy is just raining down like a torrent onto the razor's edge. We can't see it, feel it, interact with it, but it is a creative energy that is just raining down, and it is pouring into each individual layer like a tsunami, and bursting out into each new layer and forcing new layers and running through. And it takes about 1 billion years, and this energy will fully fill every place that it can on the razor's edge. But of course, 1 billion years is about how long it takes that energy that keeps the doors flowing on the outside to finally dissipate and the door shut. And that's about 250 million years for that energy to dissipate, because creation doesn't slow down and things are still eating people on the inside, so people are being replaced, and it takes about 250 million years, and then all that energy is gone. And then there's no more creation to replace how dangerous the place is and all the people being lost to danger and how many things there are that just eat people. It takes about 250 million years to go from a near infinite number of human beings to about 1 trillion. Every other person has died of old age or filled something's belly. At that point, the kaiju, it takes less calories to start doing what it is doing than it takes to just wait for them to come to it. It starts harrying those that are out there, forcing them to rush to the razor's edge. And when their descendant, the razor's edge, Apple Rock, and when they finally, their descendants get there, their reward is the kaiju eats them. And when they're down to about 500 billion people on the entirety of the razor's edge, it takes far less calories to go and hunt than to wait. So the kaiju walks the line from person to group to group to person, just filling itself with human meat until there's no more people on the razor's edge. Every cycle, the razor's edge ends with human extinction, where human beings have been literally all just eaten. And then, of course, the cycle starts again. But that takes time. But I'd been thinking about that, and I wanted to mention that because I'd been thinking of it. And then back to the cryptid stuff. As I'd mentioned, since we don't have the electricity stuff, and as cryptids, not we, but the cryptids don't have the electricity and all this stuff. They are hardier. They have evolved to be a hardier race, a hardier species, a hardier group of beings. They're not human. Even if they look and act human, they're not. They are much hardier. That is why they can be snowed on and wake up at minus temperatures with their skin, so cold that snow doesn't melt on them, and their breath doesn't melt their snow either, but they're fine. They're not frozen. They just get up, shake the snow off, and then continue onward with their lives. When they drink water, they don't really have to worry if it's mildly contaminated or mild parasites. Their body's just going to flush it out. And then whatever they eat, their bodies use very efficiently. It is only a small portion of the cryptids that actually devour human beings, and it is an even smaller number of cryptids that hunt other intelligent cryptids. So, as much as I write about the nasty parts of what's going on, it's a very small percentage of the actual nasty things. And even characters like King Mike, who would normally be a very nice individual, because they have responsibilities as king, and because they are attuned to the presence that is underneath Pol Pot Mansion, they have to do things they would rather not do, like occasionally calling for the fiefdoms out there to send cryptids and people up to the king, so the king can feed them to the presence underneath the mansion. King Mike would much rather not be feeding human beings to this actual animate corpse that just gets up, grabs the screaming person, and devours them, bite by bite. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and if King Mike wasn't in control of this presence, somebody else would be. If King Mike didn't feed this thing, it would feed itself. And for the first 2 years before he tamed it, people were in panic over just the absolute randomness and violence of this thing's feeding. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Not everybody is vile. Not everyone is evil. Hey, they're just like people. Your mileage may vary. There's so much more I wanted to talk about Jerry and people with the vision and how that they are accepted by cryptids, but I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me a comment in the last 24 hours. It's not many at all, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you so much. And of course, if you've watched this far, thank you so very, very much. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. No one is forcing you to watch, and the fact that you have is awesome. Thank you. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count in American Sign Language, well, call up my Chrome here. We have the Horror Files. Thumbs up, thank you very much, and good to see you in the comments. We have Insignificant Nick. I don't know why I was stumbling over your name. My apologies. Thank you very much, and there are so many rats in the game. Confused Owl 29. Good luck, and here's hoping things go well for you. Then we have Loco 5. Thumbs up, thank you very much, and greatly appreciated all your comments about my creative stuff and all that. It does help, thank you. There is Ben B. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up, and I hope your day is awesome as well. And that is it. 5 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up. Thank you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people. If only sometimes for a very short time, and if only in text. Thumbs up. Thank you much. Excuse me. Well, son of a gun, I got phone calls to make. I gotta finish doing what I'm doing and moving stuff, but I can't do it fast and hard or I'll destroy my physical self. I am in a mess up here, so joy, but I'm gonna try and do what I gotta do, and I gotta do some things. So here's hoping I can get done the things, get done doing, hopefully I can work on the things that I need to get done. Hopefully you can work on the things that you need to get done. If you can't, don't beat yourself up. It only makes yourself feel bad and doesn't help you do things better the next time. And of course, with the covfefe bug a-raging, and everywhere I look, somebody that I follow on some form of social media is getting the covfefe bug. Please be as smart and as safe as you can for your situation. Please. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.